Café and Networking Podcast promotes successful business experts throughout the world. I'm Tom Reaoch, known as the King of Networking, connecting people from my podcast studio in Brazil. And today we talk with Angela Santi. She's joining us from Bologna in Italy. Angela Santi, the one-of-a-kind boutique-style leadership and lifestyle consultant for rebellious and ambitious elite entrepreneurs, business owners, and executives. Angela Santi pioneered the Dolce V.I.T.A leadership and lifestyle mastery model. Angela, you say, take it easy, live blissfully, unhurried, to the fullest. How does that lead to business success?
This is very good question, and it's the part of success. It's the most important ingredient of success. I want to remind all business leaders and thought leaders why they started their business: to have fun, enjoy life, and to live life to the fullest. If they do that, they can bring that into their business. Otherwise, it's all frustration, burnout, and boredom.
Well, it seems sometimes, not sometimes, many times, that happiness walks out the door very quickly.
Yes.
How can we keep that in ourselves as we try to either create or grow a company?
So we have, and this comes to my mastery model, the most important part is to alternate work, very committed work, and idleness, which is something that for Americans and worldwide, for the English speakers is something bad. But the Romans built the biggest empire alternating these two, and by aligning what I call the 4 dimensions of La Dolce Vita, and Vita stands for vitality, illumination, inspiration, techniques, and assets. So when you have these 4 dimensions align and in balance, you can have success, which is not only sustainable, it's expansive. You're really fulfilled and lighthearted.
Well, the word you mentioned, balanced, I think that's important. Sometimes we may have one or the other, and actually we're not balanced. We're not even walking correctly. We're sort of stumbling through business.
Exactly. So balance is something which is dynamic and it changes over time. So the key is to lead a balanced life. So not exaggerate on the fun part and neither in the work part. When you're on the push, you burn out. If you're only having fun, probably you don't reach your goals.
Well, I agree with you. I don't want to say I don't, but how do we do that in a world that's 24/7? A global world, something's happening somewhere all the time. How do we adjust to that?
Well, the first thing is to set healthy boundaries and to let go of the need of control and the need of being on 24 hours. There is something that you will miss and you have to accept it. Okay, so you define when you want to work. And for instance, I work 3 days per week and I keep 4 days for fun, for recharging, for being on my business and off business. And business is a word that is always there. The off business serves business and it's part of the strategy.
Well, I agree with you because much of business is created through networking. And most networking is created off business. It's when I say when you're having that coffee or sipping that wine in the evening, you're out just chatting. That's a fundamental part of business success, I feel.
Exactly. And the Dolce Vita part, this networking part, say many deals are done around the table, playing golf, being at the same yacht club or whatever, sharing passions. And sharing passions builds trust. Mm-hmm. And when you have trust, then you can create a business.
And passion shows through, I think, in the evenings with some wine and cheese, right?
Yes, absolutely. Wine, cheese, and aperitif are a must for every business owner.
Well, here too, in the business associations that I belong to, the more successful networking events were evenings, either wine testing, when they would get, and we still do that now, not during the pandemic, now restarting, of having that called the happy hour. And why is it happy? It's back to what you said. It should be happy. It's a time that we should be reflecting and be joyous.
Yeah, this is true. And I tell you, we always speak about thinking out of the box, but if we stay within the box of our offices, never go out, we always see the same things and repeat the same actions. So get out of the office if you want to be innovative, if you want creativity, and also encourage your people to go more out of their boxes, to think out of their boxes, be more productive and effective, and help you be successful.
Well, we've seen that, unfortunately, during the pandemic, and that's worldwide. We've physically had to be inside a box. We removed ourselves from the personal. We were removed from personal contact, and that was for obvious reasons. And we talk about burned out. Many persons have burned out during that because of the multi-activities of losing the human contact. So that's starting to come back. Did you see that?
Yes, and the human contact is it's, I think, one of the most important things. I'm Italian, and for us, like embracing with people, etc. Even though I tell you, I prefer working online because it's more effective, but the human contact part should always be there. And it's also bringing more humanity and human-centeredness within the organizations to change the organizational culture and fight the great resign and fight, also what they call the silent, quiet quitting. If you create a better organizational environment, then people are not quitting.
No, I agree with you. And part of my objective in what I do, and I've been podcasting for many years, even pre-pandemic, and I really learned remote and virtual business that way. And what I still do, and I think it is important, it's not personal content, but we have to find a way to make virtual remote contacts personal.
Yes.
And if we can do that, and share you. My objective is to share persons like yourselves, other persons that I interview, with the world. Otherwise, how do they find us?
Yeah, exactly. And you know how I'm finding the right balance between the two? So I work remotely, I network remotely, but I also network and invite my American friends and colleagues to Italy, and we meet here in Bologna. And next week I'm going to Austria to meet another one. So we have fun together and work together.
And travel together and meet people. And I agree with you. I think that's the healthy way of living a life and creating a successful business.
Yes. So the Dolce Vita is, again, not a byproduct of success. It's the most important ingredient for happy success.
What's the driver? A very slow driver, right?
Yes.
So, Angela, how can our audience find you?
So they can find me on my website, www.angelasanti.it, like Italia. And they can connect with me on LinkedIn.
Very good. Well, thank you for sharing your time and experience with us.
It was a pleasure.
And for our audience, again, you can find more about Angela Santi. It's Angela, the last name Santi. And her site is angelasanti.it. You also find her, as she said, on LinkedIn. Café Networking is brought to us by Focus MI Market Intelligence, an agricultural market research specialist in Brazil. More information at focusmi.com. That's FOCUSMI.com. Thanks for listening. Until the next time here at Café and Networking Podcast.